Hello, boys and girls. Welcome back. What do we have today? Well, looks like we have a Gibson J-55 or Southern. It's been refinished. Cracks here. I see a little stress here at the block, so it probably got crushed in. There's 4 braces. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the two middle braces are just not there. They're gone. The other problem we see is that top is caved in a little bit. That tells me right away that we have some bracing issues, usually with a lateral brace here. Yes, and in fact, it is separated almost to the sound hole here. Yeah, so the neck has been reset. You can see they sprayed there to hide their precision work. Nice. Ha ha. And and this is almost unbelievable. Now check out this upper fingerboard. You can actually see light through the other side there. It appears they pulled the fret, cut the upper fingerboard, removed the upper fingerboard to expose the joint underneath so that they could steam it off. So yes, they did a wonderful job in putting that back on there. Unbelievable. Looks like that when they refinish the top, you got to tape off the bridge so it doesn't get finish on it, right? Actually, you have to remove the bridge if you're going to refinish the top, in my book. Looks like they taped it off. They didn't even bother taking the rest of the tape off there. Anyway, so let's get to it. Let's restore this thing to its former glory. Here we go. What a mess. I don't have the footage of removing the neck. It just took too long and I ran out of memory on my phone. So, yeah. Not pretty. Not pretty at all. As you can see, the green, that is green frog tape. The white paper substance is actually wax paper. It looks like someone tried to make a mold of some sort using marine epoxy or some sort of epoxy in hopes that they could reshape the butchered heel. Yeah, not fun. We're going to clean this up. We're going to convert it to a bolt-on neck, as taking a more traditional method we're already into this thing pretty deep financially, so it's going to be the most practical way to deal with all this mess. It'll come out nice. It'll be nice. Won't even know. Everything got torn up the shoulders. Half of the shoulders are ended up on the heel. There are some sort of wooden shims in there as well. They scooped out around the dovetail quite a bit. I'm going to use marine epoxy with glass micro bubbles to be able to bear this up nice and smooth so it all fits together. You won't see any of it. It'll be solid and stable. It'll be good as new. What a hack job. Just look at that. There's wax paper in there. There was green frog tape. And the surfaces here, I have no idea what angle. If I were to put this on the neck joint, I don't know what the angle would be at this point in time. But all I know is that we need to start with some nice, clean, straight surfaces, and we'll have to be creative on this one. This is tradition was thrown out of the window long ago on this one, so we might have to counteract with equally but more well executed techniques and on getting this thing back into shape. This is my neck angle heel jig, just a piece of scrap of plywood here with some tape on the bottom here so we don't remove any material from here. This is your pivot point. You know, this is how you change the angle here. You don't want to take any material away from there. You want to take it or add it down here to get the angle that you want. So this is how I do it. I've tried the other methods, but this is kind of what I've settled on in recent years. And I'm just trying to get rid of all the pits and lumps and bumps and get a surface that I can use as a basis of some place to start. And this thing is just so messed up. There you go. And I'll get it until I get a clean edge there, and we can add or subtract whatever we need from there. Yeah. Some of them just go together. Yeah. Upright bases. Yeah. And here's the other side. Yeah. Wonderful. It's just mind-blowing. I think we had a bunch of toothpicks shoved through the hole there to hold the neck in. And we had wax paper in here too. I think they tried to create a mold with some sort of epoxy or construction glue or something. And yeah, it didn't work out so well now, did it? And it looks like another screw hole over here. What were they thinking? Well, all right, so we got to clean this up too. Add or subtract whatever we need to get everything to fit nice and snug and get this thing playing again. Okay, so what I think we're going to do, you can see that the, let me get my little spatula over here. See that there's a total separation in there. That's going inside the guitar there. It's my understanding that this guitar was retopped, probably by the same fellow who did all this. It's sort of hard to believe that someone who had enough skill sets to put a new top on uh, didn't have the skill sets to do this correctly. Could have been other people. I don't know. I don't know. All I know is it's my problem now. And just get this area solid before we work it with any tools. A little kind of motion in there. All right, let's glue it up.
You might have more issues on this thing than what the parent, because of what I'm saying against this.
Okay, so I think there's a strong possibility I may opt to convert this neck to a bolt-on neck, only because it's so messed up, and getting this perfectly fitting dovetail joint, it will be nearly impossible. And I think in the end it'll be simpler, cleaner, more efficient way of getting this job done. Now, this is a very bumpy, uneven surface, so I think what I will do, I need to glue this lamination. I think I will take this recycled tire rubber flooring, which is rather firm, and together with this, I'll put a hole in here and take advantage of these two goofy holes here before I fill them, and just take a screw and put it here, and that'll clamp this tight here, especially as a save time. I still have these clamps with this bracing here, but I think this would be the best way to approach applying pressure to that lamination to glue it back to the neck block here. We're looking at the inside of the neck block. It appears that when the top was off of this, someone perhaps they had an idea that they were going to saw that whole joint out, perhaps, and inlay a new dovetail joint in there. I do not know. It's a big mystery. And the other problem we have here, you can see the light. See between the top and the top of the neck block, a wide open space. We'll put a shim in there. We'll have to make our shim a little wedge shaped. Alright, so our block is about that wide. Put a shim in there, glue it in. Okay, we're going to fill these two slots on either side with epoxy.
Doing the Gibson windows. Cool. Yep, they're all up there.
Now when we took the upper fingerboard off, which was fairly glued on there, we found a big chunk of wood missing underneath it. And we're going to inlay a new piece of wood in there. Get it all nice and even and flat. Scraping the epoxy away from the back of the guitar that was inside. Probably dripped down from that. Did the dovetail. I drilled a 5/16 hole where I want to put my bolt using a pointy brad bit. And I'll use the same brad bit to put a mark in the dovetail joint, which is strapped onto the guitar at the moment temporarily. And there's where my hole is going to be. I'm going to tape off the depth of the hole. Just use a piece of tape as a flag. I found it easier to use the hex bolt and a nut instead of using a screwdriver. It made it much easier to steer it into the slot. It tends to want to drift. Beautiful. Okay, next we need to clean this up. It made contact here and here and a little bit over here. We'll do some final cleanup with a chisel and a sanding block. You'll notice here on the dovetail joint, the white stuff, which is marine epoxy and micro bubbles. I lost that footage. Sorry. It was used to fair the inside of the dovetail joint and the shoulders that were all torn up. And I'm going to water down this glue just a little bit. Try that. This is fish glue. Okay, so I looked around the shop for different veneers and whatnot, and I had one of these hanging around. It's tapered at 0.25 degrees. Goes down to just about nothing on the end, and it'll give us a little bit of a slope, a downward slope towards the sound hole, and it'll jack us up exactly where we need to be. We've got an open crack right here. We should probably put a little glue in there. I'm going to use a cabinet scraper to scrape away the epoxy that is right where I want to put the other brace. Wonderful. I dug through my old scrap box of old braces and stuff and found a super wide back brace to, I think it was a Reed Love, and I split it down the middle. It's got a 25-foot radius on the back, which is just about right. I can reshape it and cut it to length, and saving a little time and money. A double stick taped 2 small scraps of wood to help me align the brace when I glue it. I used the same method for the other missing brace. Okay, we got one last little thing to do here. All right. That's 14.